In this video, we're going to talk about how to motivate employees as a team leader. Do you want to know how you can motivate your people? And what is the truth about motivation? What are your responsibilities in this? And what are some pitfalls to watch out for? We're going to cover all that right now. So here's the shock and awe moment for you right now. You can't motivate your people. It's just not a thing. They must be self-motivated. That means that the person is aligned with you, they're excited about the work, they're excited to do the work, and they've decided to show up. So then you're like, wait a minute, Jason, you just said, how do you motivate your people? Well, hold on. Let me explain. It's your job to not demotivate them, right? So here's some steps that I'm going to take you through one by one. So I already said you must have motivated people. So the first thing is, are you and your company and you're on your team, wherever you are, whatever part of the organization you're in, are you clear about your vision? This is where we're going. This is our purpose. This is our mission. These are our core values. This is how we do business. If you're clear about your vision, then highly motivated people that want that same vision, that want to do that thing, will come to you. Number two, can a highly motivated person's identity get excited about the kind of work that you're doing? And do you have a culture that will enable highly engaged people to be self-motivated? I mean, really, the question is your culture toxic? Is it negative? Is it boring? Does it lack excitement? Is this a culture where people who are highly motivated are going to show up and be highly motivated, or where you get highly motivated people and they're going to show up and you're going to bore them to death, right? So the first key step is you must hire hardworking, highly motivated people into a culture that is clear, where they can actually be excited, and in a culture that they identify with. That is the first overall step. And one quick note here about a culture. It's not so much the big things. It isn't, hey, on the wall, this is our culture document or this is our vision document. That really doesn't matter. I mean, it matters if the organization follows it, but having it on the wall doesn't matter. It's the micro actions, meaning the small things that I do every day that will reinforce that, right? So let me give you an example, right? If I said, hey, we as a company are going to progress. We are a company that's going to change the world, and we're going to work with great people to do it, right? Okay, so stay with me, right? And somebody says, my identity as a highly motivated person, I want that, right? And then you say and profess this is the culture that they're coming into, and then that identity comes and says, all right, I feel like we have a perfect marriage, right? We have a perfect alignment. But then you get into a meeting, and the employee with an identity of, I want to change the world, and we're going to do it together, and we care about people, and I get to speak up, says something in a meeting, right? And wants to connect, and a leader's like, oh, well, let me go ahead and ignore that. Or, well, actually, John, you need to focus on your work. We don't need your ideas right now. Or, like I said, they're flat out ignored, or it's like, no, that's a bad idea. Or they're criticized and made fun of. Now you can see that the micro actions between the professed culture and the highly motivated identity of the employee are now incompatible because they're not connecting. So you can't say in a meeting, hey, I want your ideas, and then not take the ideas. You can't say we care about people and then allow your people to overwork themselves over the weekends and burn themselves out. It's the micro actions that will create that pairing, right? Did the person sign up for this actually get it, right? And connect, or did they not? That is key. So remember, it's all about the small things, not just what's on the wall. The other thing you have to understand is that people are inherently good. They're good humans. They're highly motivated. And if you want to be a really great supervisor, you provide the key 3 things that we talk about all the time, which you now want to hear again, which is connection, relevance, and measurement. Meaning, do you know them? If you want a highly motivated employee who's already motivated to stay that way, get to know them and connect. Sometimes in a meeting, just sit down and be like, okay, let's talk. Or like, hey, I'm here listening to you. Let's connect. Or, hey, how's your family? Connect with them in a real way. And that is one really key where you can take highly motivated people and amplify that motivation. Number 2, make sure that they know that they're relevant, right? They're highly motivated, But is that motivation landing and connecting with the team? How do they know that? Well, just tell them, hey, what you're doing is pretty awesome. You doing this allows the team to do this. Or you doing this takes such a burden off me. Or, hey, our customers have been raving about you. Make sure that they know they're relevant. You'll take that motivation and you'll amplify it. And then the third one, can they measure their day? No one wants to take their motivation and their energy and invest it in a hopeless cause. So every day, if it's like, I can win, and I accomplished A, B, C, and D, and that was great, and I feel like I really delivered value, I can feel like I invested as a highly motivated employee in something great and go home happy. But let's say you take an employee, or using me for an example, if I'm highly motivated, and I've gone and invested all of that into a hopeless cause, I'm going to leave feeling pretty crappy, right? And so you don't want that. So if you want to amplify the motivation of an employee, make sure that they can measure and accomplish winning every single day. And actually, you want to know something that would be super winning for both of us, finding that win-win, is if you subscribed at hitting that button down below so that we can do this for the long term. I would love any comments, love any likes. I'd love to hear from you. I will respond personally. That would be a win-win. All right, let's go ahead and cover some things that you should not do, because if you do them, you will demotivate already motivated people. Number one, overburdening them. Overburden will kill your highly motivated employees. We cannot have them working too many hours. They should not be working too much overtime. They can't work throughout the day without breaks. They can't be pressured too much with too much stress. They must have a balance. They must have breaks. They must have thinking time. They must have time to go home and decompress. They must have time on the weekends. I get the whole Elon Musk concept of like, let's grind. But there's a time to work and there's a time to play. So in cultures where I have seen highly motivated people thrive, when they're at work, they're in the grind and they're jamming. And when they're off work, they're focused and they're grinding at home, meaning whether they're napping or sleeping or being with loved ones or playing football, playing video games, or out to dinner. They're focused, they're present, and they have that time to relax. So please do not overburden your people. That will demotivate them. Number two, there's nothing that will demotivate your people quite like you watching and endorsing and allowing a person with bad behaviors to exist and get promoted inside your organization. So if you want to keep your highly motivated employees, don't lose them by also keeping your cancerous ones. So if you have an employee that's toxic, if you have someone who does not lean in with the team, if you have someone who has this negative impact, this harassing, non-aligned behavior, if you have people that are cancerous to the teams, if you have people that are bad-mouthing the culture, if you have people that are tearing everyone down, that are dissenters, if you have people that your team does not like working with, you must fix that problem. Because you already have highly motivated employees in other spaces. They're ready to come to work, but that motivation will be taken way down and will match the level of your most cancerous people. So you must fix those problems. And even if you have great people that aren't cancerous, you must correct any bad behavior. So your highly motivated folks, they cannot be in a situation where they feel it's toxic and unsafe. That will limit their performance and hurt the team. And so if you really want to do great things with employees, hire motivated employees and create an environment where they can succeed. We don't command and control people, but we definitely command and control environments. Meaning, like at my company, hey, this will be a safe environment. Like, you can do your best work. This is our culture. These are the things that you need. It's my job and Kate's job and Kevin's job as the CEO and the CVO to make sure that environment exists so that when highly motivated people come in, they can be their best selves and figure out the how for the what we are doing. And constantly challenge them. If they have the environment, provide those opportunities. People want to be great. So if you want to really amplify motivation, allow them opportunities to succeed. And then be like, hey homie, you're awesome, like you did a great job, like this is absolutely fantastic. They will thrive because their motivation has led them into a circumstance where they can be proud of what they're doing and be their best selves. And I would say, allow them to be themselves, right? So you already have the motivation, let them now be authentic. There's nothing really as motivating as feeling as you have to show up at work and be someone different. It causes friction. So if you're high energy and goofy, be high energy and goofy. If every now and then you're a little bit bipolar and you're happy sometimes and just a little bit grumpy, don't put that on the team in a negative way, but just be like, hey team, every now and then I get a little grumpy. And I'm not meaning it anywhere here. I'll tell you, and I love you as a team and I'll accept your help, but this is kind of how I am and who I am naturally, right? Or if you are kind of the serious type, be like, hey, here are the times when I kind of let it loose and connect, but most of the time I'm serious. I want to connect and I want you to appreciate me in an authentic way. What that will do is it'll allow people that come in to be motivated, but be motivated in their own way and be accepted. Being a cancerous person and being like maybe a little bit moody sometimes or serious or straight-faced, those are not the same things. You can be authentically you. Just don't ever be that cancerous person or allow bad behavior to happen. So if you really want to encourage that motivation and amplify it, let people be themselves and be authentic and connect in authentic ways. So really this all comes down to leading people properly, providing that support, energizing them by amplifying their already existent motivation and engaging them in ways that does not demotivate them. So this is a big topic. You must provide that path. Please don't be a block to your people blossoming in their role. And so what I'm going to do is in the description below, provide an outline of the key steps that you can follow in order to create this kind of engagement and to amplify your employees' inherent motivation. And I'm going to give you 2 books that I think you're going to love. One is called The Truth About Employee Engagement by Patrick Lencioni. You are going to love it. And the second one is Why Motivating People Doesn't Work and What Does. Check out both of those books. I know you're going to love them. You'll find them in the description below. But please understand, it is your job to provide that support and to really harness and nurture the motivation they already have. On we go.